This next study looked at 88 menopausal women and wanted to know if a simple mind-body technique could improve depression. So they were divided either into control or this EFT, emotional freedom technique group. And here's what this looks like. It's essentially tapping or putting pressure on acupressure points. And admittedly, the first time I heard of this, I thought, it sounds a little bit airy-fairy. I'm not really sure about this, while also being very open to things in alternative medicine, obviously, and traditional Chinese medicine, acupressure, acupuncture. But I think many of these therapies are best run through a filter of science to make sure there's not a placebo effect. Now, that being said, if doing something like temporal tapping reduced migraine, or in this case, improved mood for essentially no cost at all, and it's not anything too time intensive, I would say, okay, maybe even if it's only a placebo effect, it's worthwhile. But this study looked at that. There was a control and an intervention group. And what they found was essentially a reduction, a cutting in half of the risk of depression from a 63% response rate in the treatment group and a 34% response rate in the control. Wait a minute. So the control that was just essentially nothing, or a non-therapeutic placebo, had a 34% increase or improvement rather in their depression, whereas the treatment group had a 63% increase in their improvements in depression. Yes, this is because placebo does have an impact. So this is why the placebo control setup is so important to be able to parse out the relative effectiveness. So in this case, after 2 months, there was a doubling of the improvement in depression when using this EFT, emotional freedom technique, which you can look up fairly easily online. And it's something I may even consider experimenting with myself, given these findings.